My name is Carlos Estevez. I'm a Cuban born, raised and born in Cuba, Havana. I live in Ansel in Miami. I love to do artist in residency. I'm sort of addict to artist in residency because it gives me another vision of the exterior world. So this is I'm here in Savannah doing an art in residency at the Sulfur Studio. I'm so happy to be able to come here because I love Savannah since long before, and so I found out about this residency and I immediately applied. I'm very happy to be here. So what I'm doing mainly is this is a project that I started a few years ago. It's called Cities of the Mind, and it's a sort of intellectual, emotional documentation of my experience on those artists in residencies. It's basically a conversation between me and the city and the people who live in the city, of course. So I just go to places, and all the responses I got to the city, I try to document it on my drawings, that they are mostly a seed for future projects like installation or sculpture or paintings. I can't help myself with the beauty of this city. So I'm fascinated with the architecture and the expression of the architecture. So what you can see, it was made by people who have incredible imagination, and I am mesmerized at observing all the detail and the solution in terms of design, but also because it's a city, it's a very complex visual compound. So I couldn't help myself, and I was trying to, I think, get something from those. And this is a sort of bringing the city to an intimate space, and also I will carry with me in my memory and also in the paper. So somehow it reflects that relationship. But going back to your question of the city has a tremendous potential for that. All the parks, the squares, and also what attracted me a lot from Savannah is that it's a very it's not everything is not concentrated in one street on one point. So everything is dispersed like a Bosco painting. So you find interesting even the main street is not the most interesting one for me. I mean the commercial street. So you can go inside and it open more horizons. So it's fascinating. And then my daily routine is I wake in the morning and take the bike and go around collecting, hunting information, and then come into my studio and deposit on the paper.
I love that, and I love that you really take advantage of that and see the city. It's because you're right, absolutely. The main street is not the main street. There is no main street. There's beauty all around waiting to be discovered, and I think that's a very exciting.
Yeah, I've been back in all direction and always find something interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the fact of being in this location, because the interesting part of doing residency is you get always a different source of inspiration. So this one in particular, being in a vitrine, is kind of being exposure to in the street. So I work most of the time in the intimacy of my studio, and now people passing by, and it's a sort of a stimulating thing when they stop. And so there is a guy coming every day back and forth, and he asked me through the window. He asked me, where is the drawing that you were doing yesterday? I was there. So he told me, that's my favorite. And he told me, all through the glass. He told me that he passed every day and he saw what I was. So he's kind of followed my work.
Very cool.
Yeah, he
Very
told me
cool.
that he's also make drawings and
Yeah.
very interesting. For a short amount of time, it's an interesting experience. It's a sort of performance. I mean, I managed to keep my privacy on my relationship with what I'm doing, so I'm concentrate, but also I notice that people passing by and get the attention, so that's a very stimulating.
Yeah.
I, I take photograph as a reference, but I'm playing with the trick that memory play on you, because what I see, it happened that when certain amount of time pass, you transform it in something else, and that's what is a conversation about. So I have a memory which it doesn't correspond exactly with the reality. So I like that. I like that element of fantasy or imagery added to the original source. So that was the first drawing I did. Before coming here, I was watching some documentary of this architect. He's a professor of the SCAP University. Robin Williams,
Yeah.
and he gave me some tips or insight of the city. So that one got my attention because it's a old harbor light, but it's a sort of lamppost. So I really like the multiple functionality because it's on land and it serves as a welcome people who coming from outside. So I figured out I was a sort of traveler myself. So the lamppost will be, or the lighthouse will be my orientation on the city. So I use it as a symbol of my experience here.